YouTube? Welcome back to another video. Today's video we have a reaction for y'all. Y'all are probably wondering where I've been. Basically, I'm gonna put a long story short, I got striked. YouTube went back to one of my old videos, smoke videos that I don't even smoke on the channel no more. They went back to one of those videos, strike my channel. One of my most popular videos too is a mukbang. Striked it, and I couldn't post for 7 days. And then after the 7 days, I was just so irritated that I just, long story short, we're back. YouTube keeps trying to end me. They keep trying to get me off the channel. I don't know if they want me to go to Rumble, but they keep trying. So I'm not giving up till my channel's gone. And even after that, I'm gonna make a new channel, a new channel, a new channel, a new channel. Y'all can never get rid of me. I'm here. So today's video we have Where Are the Predators from Catch a Predator Now. Y'all know the show Catch a Predator, Chris Hansen. We reacted to that a bunch on this channel. So we're gonna basically see where the predators are now, if they went, how long their prison sentence was, what they're doing now. And yeah, we're not gonna do too much talking because y'all know I've been gone for a minute. But don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Leave a comment. Shout out to Blake. Yeah, shout out to Blake for recommending this video. If y'all have any video recommendations, hit my DMs or hit the comments and I'll react to any video. It doesn't have to be a predator video. It could be any kind of video y'all want me to react to. I will react to it. Just send it in the DMs, in the comments, wherever, and I will react to it. So we're not gonna do too much talking. Let's get into the video. Start the screen record. 3, 2, 1. Starting the video now.
These morons haven't left the best footprints behind. But after all these years, have you ever wondered where they landed?
If I can leave the past in the past, how come you guys aren't able to do that too?
Well, this weirdo right here, who endlessly thanked Chris for his service to the community, did a full 180 after his arrest.
Experience actually was it's pretty interesting actually.
You see, Jesse Velez was quite a character. When Chris exposed him with his own chats, the dude had no idea how to react. The best he could come up with was this. First, he tried to brush every accusation under the rug, and when that didn't work, he started blurting out random garbage that barely made any sense.
You know, just like an ordinary conversation, like Como, like friendly type thing. It wasn't like anything sexual.
Anyway, the ordeal continued with Jesse dishing out one lie after the other. But when the cameras came out, his confidence took a major hit. He probably had no idea that he was already being recorded. But hold up,
And listen, if y'all haven't watched Catch a Predator, the videos are still on YouTube. You can go watch. I remember seeing his episode specifically. He's the one that like men, like he like boys. He like boys. Nothing wrong with that. Well, yeah, something wrong with that. Nothing wrong with liking the same. But I'm saying, I'm talking too fast. I'm saying there's something wrong with a man liking a little boy. There's something wrong with that. But yeah, he wasn't there for a woman. He was there for a boy. And he married. Y'all go watch this episode. Watch it. Make sure you watch it so you can understand the context of this. Because this video, they're not going to show the episode. They're just going to show little clips. They're not going to show everything. So if you want to have the real context of what everything he said, the videos are still on YouTube.
do you happen to see his ring? Well, it looks like it wasn't just his confidence that broke that day. Well, despite the awkward situation, Jesse offered to talk to Chris in private, but the cops were running out of patience.
Alright, very well.
So my wife got me this weird new kitchen knife as a Christmas gift. God, I love her. At first,
I'm under arrest.
So let's cut to what happened after his arrest. The dude was charged with 3 felonies, but despite all the evidence against him, he decided to play the victim. He posted a very lengthy message on Facebook blaming the show for pushing him into depression. He talked about how he was paying big time for a... He posted a very lengthy message on Facebook.
Look how they gave him toilet paper when he started crying. Look.
Facebook, blaming the show for pushing him into depression. He talked about how he was paying big time for a stupid mistake he made. He also mentioned that he'd lost many friends, family members, and had also immensely hurt his boyfriend because...
I know I keep pausing, but What you thought people were still gonna be your friend after you decided to meet up with a kid and the chat logs? Like I feel like some of these predators think just because they didn't go through with it, or just because they didn't actually get to do the act with the kid, that it's not as bad as coming there saying everything you said in the chat. Because let's be clear, if you're gonna drive to a kid's house knowing it's a kid, you're gonna go there expecting to get something. You're not just gonna go there and sit down and just, because that's what all of them say when they get caught. This is what they say: I wasn't here to do anything, I'm just here to talk, or I was trying to help. But the chat logs is a whole different story. So you deserve to lose friends, family, and your boyfriend.
Of his poor decision making. And after ranting his heart out, he ended his long and sentimental statement asking the public to look in the mirror before judging or bullying him. Oh,
I'm
come
looking
on.
in the mirror.
Seriously?
I
mean,
kids.
what a load of nonsense. Either way, it doesn't really matter what he thought about his case, because Jesse Velez entered a guilty plea in April of 2016. 3 months later, he was sentenced to prison in July for a period of 5 years. Additionally, he was placed on probation for 10 years and even had to officially register as an offender. But that wasn't the end of it. Jesse once again got into trouble in
I know 5 years seems like a short time, but y'all gotta, 5 years of your life you're in prison. You have to listen to somebody telling you when to shower, when to eat, what and what not to do. I could never be in prison because I would lose my mind. Someone has to tell you what to do every second. And you can't drive. You can't go outside to get real food, real good food.
2019 for violating the terms of his probation. 4 years later, Jesse was back in the courtroom on March 17th, 2023, and this time he was sentenced to prison for another 3 years. Going by this update, Jesse might still be cooling his heels behind bars somewhere. But while looking for more information on him, I came across this Reddit thread where one of his colleagues posted about his behavior at work. A former colleague talked about how Jesse would act all flirtatious around cute guys and was basically a sleazeball who made inappropriate jokes about anything and everything. The fact he had a fiance made it all the more disgusting. But this next loser showed up at the Sting House on his birthday. Now, everybody who shows up to the Sting House is desperate for some action, but Lorne Armstrong was something else.
Today's his birthday. He's 37-year-old Lorne Armstrong, a construction worker.
While most promised to bring gifts, Lorne had something much more to offer.
I wish I could marry you right now, because I would do it. That's how special you are to me, and that's how much I love you.
Yeah, he claimed that he'd fallen head over heels with the setup. Wow, how romantic. But guess what? He didn't stop there. He took things to the next level and actually proposed to marry her. I mean, wild. And when Chris confronted him about it, you wouldn't believe what he had to say.
I think I should go to counseling to get off the internet. I gotta do something that I can't do that. Oh my God.
Yeah, like crying was gonna make anything better.
Hands behind your back, Put your hands behind your back.
He's taken to the local police station where his car is searched.
Anyway, after his much publicized arrest, the dude decided to break his silence through his YouTube channel. And he wasn't back to clear his name, but to show the world how he spent his days. Right from his workout sessions to his elaborate meal plans, dude had everything on display. I guess he just got used to being on camera, but you have to give it to him. He actually turned his arrest into something profitable for himself. Can you believe it that he actually started selling merch with crazy prints from the show? I mean, the dude loved just printing money, I guess, even from his downfall. However, his celebrity status met its demise in 2019 when he was arrested for violating his parole. I mean, I can't say I'm shocked. Dude was then registered into a rehab program, which once again, he failed to attend. To make things worse, he once showed up under the influence during one of the classes, and this landed him back in prison for another 6 months. Lorne was finally released in February 2020. But guess what? During his prison time, he actually took interest in writing a book. As of 2023, according to his RSO information, today he's living as a free man somewhere in a trailer selling junk for a living. Well, at least he's doing something with his life, but this next guy had the most bizarre...
See, I don't feel bad for none of them. Like, I really don't. I don't think he went to prison though, because he didn't say he went for 6 months. So, but only person I feel, well, I'm not gonna say I feel bad for him, but the last guy, the reason why they ended the show, I kind of feel bad for him a little bit, because he ended up killing him. Like, I'm not gonna say that, they might strike me. He ended up offing himself. Let me say that. The last person they did, I kind of feel bad for him, kind of.
Excuse for showing up at the house. You see, Edward Hollingsworth came up with the worst reason to save face.
I cannot believe I did this.
What's going on?
My best friend's mom is dying of cancer.
Okay, so how does that make anything that you were planning to do today okay? Well, sadly for him, this little fantasy wouldn't last long. But guess what? This dude turned out to be pretty lucky. When a high-profile dude decided to off himself before the cops laid a hand on him, the show ran into some legal trouble. Lawsuits were flying left, right, center, and as a result, a bunch of charges had to be dropped. And what do you know? Edward was one of them. Sometime in 2019, one of his coworkers posted a picture of him which dated back to 2010, to a long time before the sting. Apparently, nobody chose to keep in touch with him after his deep dark secrets were revealed on national television. Again, not very surprising. While we never got to see Chris interview him, and Edward never got to spend time in prison, it turns out he passed away on June 12, 2012 after battling pneumonia. Despite the dire condition he was in, Edward made it a point to keep his fans updated about his health status. He also mentioned how the lack of visitors was eating into his brain. But his last sentence is what caught my attention. He signed off saying, "I don't forget these things." Ooh, I mean, creepy, right? I wonder if he's still out there haunting Chris and the rest of the team. Speaking of which, here comes another moron who was nearing the end of his life, but that didn't stop him from indulging in a little fun. Meet Charles Lawrence.
He's looking for a boy.
Yeah, he's the same guy Chris recognized from his daily commute on the train.
It's supposed to rain, it's hurricane. You want something to eat? I know. You can take a seat, Lola.
This sting wrapped up way earlier than I wanted it to. What happened is, as soon as Charles walked in, Chris was so stunned to see him that he jumped right in, right away. And that was that. Charles immediately recognized Chris and he reacted in the only way he knew how.
No, Chris. What are you doing here?
He literally bolted towards that exit. However, he was rounded up by the cops, and what followed next was a 3-year sentence in prison after being found guilty of 3 charges. Charles was finally released in 2018, but just 1 year before he was released, the company he was working in released a statement. Basically, he was kicked out of his job. But I did find his LinkedIn profile, which still lists him as a real estate agent. On further research, I found out that this company is still active, and Charles is still listed as one of the CEOs. I guess Chris knew about this, because in one of his podcasts, he mentions about Charles' license being at risk. Honestly, for a guy who mistook 13 for 18, I wouldn't be surprised. In 2021, someone on Reddit posted that they had seen Charles living in a 55-plus condo complex. Well, it looks like he's back to living his rich life. But before we head into the next loser, here's the latest mugshot of this loser from 2018. Up next, we've got a smooth criminal, posh car, posh outfit, and a posh attitude. Well, say hello to Cody Green.
Yeah, I just gotta drop this in the washer, but I made some sweet tea, come on in.
And roasting him in online is my cleanest, best pleasure.
Because I will come over and I swear I will just be with you and I will not touch you, anything like that.
You see, dude was here to do some damage, but in the end, he shot himself in the foot.
Probably the cleanest, best pleasure, I would say.
The cleanest, best pleasure.
Unfortunately, this loser made bail in just a month. And yeah, he sure looked loaded. I'm pretty certain his family could afford anything thrown their way.
On the ground! 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 On the ground!
But Cody tried to put his best acting skills to use. Throughout his trial, he kept crying over the fact that he did what he did because he suffered a brain injury as a kid. I mean, he was definitely messed up in the head, but I'm sure that the alleged brain injury had nothing to do with it. Cody was subjected to a whole list of medical tests, and finally, it was time for the verdict. In 2006, he was found guilty of all of his charges, and the judge put him on a 3-year sentence with an extended 12 years on probation. And guess what? Cody was just released in September 2023 this year. The that doesn't mean he's a free man. The release came with a lot of restrictions. He was forced to wear an ankle monitor at all times, and he has to live with his parents. By the way, did you see what happened in his latest RSO picture? Dude looks like he's just completely done. But guess what? Some habits die hard. Apparently, he was arrested again barely a month after his release for flashing at someone in the pool. Well, some things, I guess, never change. But this next dude who jumped at the first opportunity to hug the setup has more on his plate than you could ever imagine.
And started heading towards me. Do you want me to get you something to drink? He was definitely heading towards me.
7 months, followed by strict supervision for You see, all James Fowler was looking for was some fun. But look what he ended up with. The dude was arrested in 2009 and sentenced for 57 months, followed by strict supervision for 5 years. Well, these were the lists of federal charges. As for the state charges, he was slapped with 7 years, and both of these 7s were to run consequently. But Fowler simply couldn't stop fooling around. He was once again arrested in 2014 for unlawfully entering an elementary school. I mean, wow. I wonder what he was up to.
See, y'all realize why I don't feel bad for these people. Cause what? You got 7 years and still didn't learn your lesson? Tay.
Barging into an elementary school unannounced? I can only imagine what he was planning. Thankfully though, he was caught in the nick of time. But after that little stunt, Fowler's gone MIA. Since 2014, he decided to stay on the down low, and no one heard from him until 2021. Joey's YouTube channel released a video of him. Well, looks like someone's having the best time of his life. Anyway, up next. We've seen some pretty heartless men on the show, but who remembers this crybaby?
Life's a mess.
Why is it a mess?
I remember that.
Yeah, and that was just 2 minutes into the interview. And the waterworks never seemed to stop.
What do you do for a living?
I don't have a job. I'm a f***ed up.
Look, I had a father who was overweight. I get it. It's tough.
Well, this dude certainly had some talent there. I mean, how can anyone fake cry for that long? Anyway, none of it mattered to Chris, who continued to grill him until the cops took over.
Sir, please. Turn around. Hands behind your back.
Now, you have to listen to what happened next. After this jerk was arrested and found guilty of 3 charges, something crazy happened. Turns out, he hadn't even informed his parents about his arrest. As a result, his father reached out to the online platform just to confirm his son's whereabouts. It was evident that this guy was deeply troubled by how his life had unraveled, to the point where he was too ashamed to disclose his actions to his parents. But there was no stopping Vincent. He was later arrested in 2016 for a number of charges, and he was thrown behind bars for 10 whole years with suspension for 2 years. Well, it looks like this loser didn't learn his lesson the first time around, and he was released from prison in 2018, and that was it. Dude went missing. In his podcast, Chris mentioned how Vincent must be living in a halfway home, probably because of some illegal images on his phone. And I don't think he's wrong in saying that, because when Vincent was arrested the second time in 2016, he had 2 phones on him. I wonder if he runs into trouble, or if trouble runs into him wherever he goes. So, moving on from a crybaby to the master of liars. Oh, you have to agree. Anthony Palumbo was quite a handful.
He's here, beer in hand, asking the decoy several times to put it in the refrigerator.
The dude had a special knack for whipping up lies. Even before Chris could bat his eyelids, Palumbo was ready with his next set of lies. And that's how fluent he was.
So why'd you need the cover story to go to Atlantic City?
Out to see my brother.
And when Chris started to corner him, dude started getting agitated. And the lies, well, they started to falter.
Yeah, because I was going to Atlantic City and it was dark and I not usually drive at dark at nighttime.
So the nighttime makes you nervous?
Yeah, driving.
But you see, Anthony had a pretty troubled past. Just 2 years before the sting, his dad has broken his mom's nose and poured boiling soap on Anthony's head. Ever since then, Anthony's been taking care of his mom. But instead of being more responsible, the dude decided decided to screw up his life. Anthony was arrested in March 2007, and he posted bail by paying almost $50,000. Following year in July 2008, this loser pleaded guilty to one of the charges, and in December the same year, he was released with just a parole supervision. And yeah, of course he made it to the offenders list. Thereafter, Anthony was pretty much off the grid until he got arrested in 2019 for a hit-and-run case. Dude landed in the slammer for 45 days, and since then, he's been missing in action. By the way, there's been a buzz among the TCAP community that Anthony had become mentally ill in the recent past, but I mean, that's assuming he was ever sane in the first place. Well, if you're looking for the latest update on any of these weirdos, make sure to drop those names in the comments below, and I'll try my best to get the latest scoop on all of these freaks straight to your screen. And well, you know the drill. If you like this video, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and turn on my post notification. Also, if you thought this video was crazy, don't forget to check out the next one right here. It's even...
Yeah. Imagine getting 10 years, like 10 years, like 10 of them, not 9, not 8, not 7, but 10. Jaja, 10. This many. Y'all don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on this video. I will see you guys in the next video. We out.
God took me right about my sins, I can't go back. Holy step and gaining real knowledge, you can soak that. Thank God he gave me good light and brought hope back. Big stepping on the devil's head, got my toe fat. They said I